Hello everyone, I'm Kumbhash Shukla and let's discuss about the 10 things you should know as a web developer. So, writing 1,000 lines of codes and turning that into a website is one of the creative and complicated things for web developers. If you get excited seeing a lot of beautiful website and thinking to try your hand on it, then we need to open your eyes telling some important things that you should know as a web developer. Creating a website that gets a lot of users attention is not just about learning various programming languages like that JavaScript and React.js. You should also need to learn some other concept like dev tools and data formats and testing APIs and authentications and a lot of stuff like that. Once you will dig yourself into this field, we are going to cover some important stuff here that you should learn as a web developer. So our first things is HTML, CSS, and JavaScript. The most important skills or knowledge every developer should learn first is these three basics building blocks. Example: HTML, CSS, and JavaScript. You will be using HTML and CSS in front end of interface. Meanwhile, what do you want to see in the user? Okay, of the user. Just right click on your web browser and then select the view page source options. You will find the structures of your website where a lot of HTML tags are used for different purpose. CSS is also used in a front end that decides the style, designing layouts, and how HTML element need to be displayed on the screen. And JavaScript is high in demand nowadays. I really say when I start learning JavaScript, I face many type of difficulties, and you guys are don't worry. I covered in our next videos all difficulties of web development. Okay, you don't worry. I covered. I'm here to cover everything. Okay, and JavaScript is a high demand currently most demanding languages in the web development, and it is basically responsible for making your HTML page and dynamic interactive. JavaScript also come with a variety of languages like that PHP, Python, ASP.NET to make your website more interactive. If you are gonna specialized in JavaScript like mean stock or MERN stock, and then you are going deep dive into this language because this one will be your front end as well as a back end language. Okay, so that is our second thing is a Git and GitHub. Its most popular version control systems, which is used in most of the organizations. Chances as higher that you need to work on this version control if you get a job as a web developer. This is the reason you should definitely spend some time learning Git and some basic commands like cloning, pursuing, and repository and making a pull request, margins, branches, etc. GitHub is a service where you push your Git repository to host your code. It is used for collaboration, or we can say it allows for developer to work together on a project. Meanwhile, you working a team, so you need to Git for sharing and sharing your codes and discuss your error, your solutions with your team members and with your seniors. So it's a very important tools for using you as a developer. And our third is a browser dev tools. Okay, you can do a lot of stuff using browser dev tools like debugging, editing HTML element, and editing CSS properties, checking devices, tracking JavaScript errors, etc. Every developer should be aware of using different tabs, element, console, network, etc. in dev tools to make their work easier and faster. Depends on your browser. You can use any dev tools like that. Chrome dev tools, Firefox dev tools, and Microsoft Edge dev tools, whatever browser you are using. People generally prefer using Chrome dev tools to develop, and here Firefox is my personal experience. It is a good for because here gives many extensions, many options for inspect your codes, and you can see easily your source code of uh, many others, many different option, multiple choices you have. So web application, but again it's the choice of that the developer which browser he or she is using to develop this website. Okay, that so that thing. And our fourth is a API. You all aware this if you are enter in development field. What is API? API is a applications programming interface. So that in web development you will be working a lot with APIs, which is basically dealing with third party data. It is allowed developers to use some of the functionality and without sharing the code. There is an awesome GitHub repository of APIs with which you can use for a different purpose. Okay, and it also gives you a lot of project idea. You can check in the link public API. Okay, I can share in my recommended description box. Sorry, and we recommended you learn about using REST APIs like that, HTTP request method, GET, POST, PUT, and PATCH, patch and delete, building an REST API like that, CRUD operations, create, read, update, delete. Okay, so different status codes, data formats, formation, JSON, and HTML or XML, and used in the request, etc. Okay, so our fifth is MVC. So what is MVC? Model View Controller. MVC is a design pattern that save a lot of time of developer separating the whole application in three different sections. Okay, working on the MVC pattern make development faster and easier. A lot of higher level frameworks uh, Laravel, Django, and based on MVT, close to MVC. Okay, so that Angular based on MVC pattern, and in MVC the model is all about database interactions. Okay, so how can you interact your database? Okay, this the view is responsible for whatever the user see on the screen, and the controller act as an interface between model and view. Learning MVC will help you to understand the frameworks for any programming language easily, like that Python, JavaScript, anything you can. And our next point is a very important point. It's a pillar of backbone of the web development. Name is a programming language. So you all aware this. In the programming languages, we are need a computer. You all know computer is not understand any types of human languages, and that's the reason you need to talk to your system with the programming languages. And in web development, programming languages are compulsory to learn, and all the logics you can apply using a wide range of programming languages. And web development use a variety of languages like that PHP and Python, Java, and Ruby, and recently JavaScript also giving competition introducing itself to handle the backend part. It's a very trending language of JavaScript. Recently, it's in the boom of development era. So as a developer, you must have knowledge. As a web developer, you must have knowledge of at least one programming language to build your web application. So next point is a problem solving of searching. If you want to become a web developer, you should have some natural problem solving and searching skills like that, critical thinking and problem solving. And searching skills can be built through some project, through data structure and algorithm, solving some challenges, puzzles, and stuff like that. But you need to keep practicing whatever you choose, no matter if you are a beginning and or experienced in web development field. You will be searching for the information, syntax, and solutions for some problems a lot while building the applications. You will definitely encounter some strange error you are completely unaware of, and there you need to take the help of Google. And I personally prefer you Stack Overflow communities. It's a very awesome community. And if you are a beginner developer, so if you are not registered here, so you registered, and so visit here you, and visit and aware to this platform Stack Overflow. It's a very awesome platform for web developer. And our next point is a writing test. Yeah, a lot of developer consider the this is useless and waste of time. For the small applications, you can ignore writing test. But if you are building a large application, we recommend you to write test like unit test. and other types of the test, because it helps in making you whole process robust, and debugging become easier. Initially you will be feeling like you are wasting your time, but later you will realize it's actually save your time. So make a habit of writing test while building your applications, and that's it. And our last but not the least topic is DevOps and deployment. As a web developer, you should have the knowledge of maintenance, scaling, margining, and deploying your code on different platforms like cloud, Amazon Web Service, Heroku, and Netfly. ठीक है? Net, and a lot of options are there, so spend some time learning about these platforms and how these services work, and how to deploy or maintain your code on these platforms. This video is helpful for you, and so new web developer is, I welcome you in this platform. My name is Kumbha Shukla and I own these platforms, and I also creating some content on their platforms for YouTube, Instagram, and LinkedIn. I writing some technical uh, problems. I discuss about the technical problem, coding problems, and many things in the LinkedIn profile. And of course, I am on Instagram. You can visit here. And our last thing is do subscribe this channel and press the bell icon. I meet you again on next video. So all the best, all the very best for web development learnings.